specialist and super specialist care such as for kidney, cancer and cardiology problems.
I request dignitaries to come upon the stage and to take their seats on the dais.
Penetrated every nook and corner of Gujarat. Nearly 40 lakh emergencies have been attended by 108.
Shri J.P. Nadda, Honorable Minister of Health, Government of India. Shri Nitin Bhai Patel, Honorable Minister Health and Family Welfare, Government of Gujarat.
25 ambulances saves one life.
Dr. Nada Medapde, WHO Representative of India. Shri Love Verma, IS Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Shri Anil Mukim, IS Principal Secretary, Health and Family Welfare, Government of Gujarat. Shri J.P. Gupta, IS Secretary, Public Health, Commissioner Health, Government of Gujarat.
31 sub-district hospitals. 21
Namaskar.
hospitals and hospitals attached
Good morning, everybody.
colleges which provides
Welcome to all on today's seminar of Health for All, Leveraging Technology Innovations and Enablers on this occasion of 7th Vibrant Gujarat Summit at Mahatma Mandir, Gandhinagar, held by Health Department of Government of Gujarat. Let us begin today's program with a welcome address by our Honorable Cabinet Minister of Health, Government of Gujarat, Shri Nitin Bhai Patel. આજના પ્રસંગે સ્વાગત ઉદ્બોધન માટે હું આમંત્રિત કરું છું માનનીય મંત્રી મહોદય, આરોગ્ય ગુજરાત સરકાર, માનનીય શ્રીમાન શ્રી નીતિનભાઈ પટેલને.
कल से हमारे देश का सबसे बड़ा ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टमेंट समिट वाइब्रेंट गुजरात और पूरी दुनिया के जाने माने महानुभाव प्रतिष्ठित नेतागण जिस सम्मेलन में उपस्थित हुए थे, ऐसे अपने गुजरात के पॉपुलर और प्रेस्टिजियस पूरी दुनिया में जिसकी चर्चा है, पूरी दुनिया गुजरात की तरफ देख रही है, ऐसे वाइब्रेंट गुजरात के आज दूसरे दिन के पहले सत्र में हमारा आरोग्य विभाग का ये जो सेमिनार है, जिसका मेन सब्जेक्ट हमने जो चुना है, हेल्थ फॉर ऑल। पूरी दुनिया में सबको स्वास्थ्य की चिंता है। पूरी दुनिया के सभी सरकारें, सभी विशेषज्ञ और सभी डॉक्टर्स और अपना यूनाइटेड नेशन, यूनिसेफ, WHO सब जिसके लिए आगे से आगे बढ़ने के लिए काम कर रहे हैं। ऐसा पूरी दुनिया के लोगों को स्वास्थ्य सुविधा प्रदान करने के लिए और पूरी दुनिया को स्वस्थ रखने के लिए क्या क्या करना चाहिए, इसके बारे में जो विशेषज्ञ है, जो स्पेशलिस्ट है, जो अनुभवी एक्सपीरियंस पर्सन है, उनकी बात को सुन के उसका कैसे इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हो, ताकि हम हमारे गुजरात में अभी की जो हमारी 6 करोड़ की आबादी है, उसको अच्छे से अच्छी स्वास्थ्य सुविधा प्राप्त करा सके। और जैसे हमारे आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई ने 2007 में निर्मल गुजरात से लेके आज स्वच्छ भारत का आह्वान किया है, उस आह्वान को आगे बढ़ा के स्वच्छता और स्वस्थता दोनों को साथ जोड़ के हम कैसे सब साथ में मिलकर काम कर सके, इसके लिए चर्चा विचारणा करने के लिए हमारे हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट ने आज हेल्थ फॉर ऑल का जो इस सेमिनार में सब्जेक्ट रखा है, उसमें आज हमें मार्गदर्शन करने के लिए ज़रूर पड़े वहाँ हमको भारत सरकार की ओर से सभी प्रकार की सुविधा और मदद करने के लिए जिनकी काफ़ी इंतजारी और तैयारी है और जो खुद भी पूर्व में आरोग्य मंत्री रह चुके हैं और अभी देश के हेल्थ मिनिस्टर है, और आज हमारे इस सेमिनार में मुख्य वक्ता की ओर से हमको मार्गदर्शन लेने के लिए पधारे हैं। ऐसे हमारे देश के हेल्थ मिनिस्टर माननीय जेपी नड्डा जी। कल हमको खुशी है, जो मैंने अभी नड्डा जी को भी बताया, कि पल्स पोलियो का जो कार्यक्रम पूरे देश ने और दुनिया ने हाथ पर लिया था और अपने देश को, अपने गुजरात को पोलियो फ्री करने के लिए 95 से जो झुंबेश हमने चलाई थी और 2007 में यूनिसेफ ने और WHO ने अपने देश में, भारत में एक भी पोलियो का केस नहीं होने के कारण इतने साल ऑब्जर्वेशन करने के बाद अभी अपने देश को पोलियो मुक्त, पोलियो फ्री डिक्लेयर किया है। तो कल यूनिसेफ और WHO की तरफ से गुजरात सरकार को अपने जो सेक्रेटरी जनरल है यूनाइटेड नेशन के, उनकी धर्मपत्नी की ओर से गुजरात सरकार को पोलियो फ्री गुजरात बनाने के लिए और उसको चालू रख के मेंटेन करने के लिए कल यूनाइटेड नेशन और यूनिसेफ और WHO के इंडिया हेड की ओर से हमको गुजरात सरकार को अवार्ड से सम्मानित किया गया है। वो हमारे लिए खूब आनंद और गौरव की बात है। ऐसे हमारे आज के जो मेन सब्जेक्ट पर बोलने वाले विशेषज्ञ हैं, ऐसे माननीय अपने मैडम जो हमारे गेस्ट है, मैडम लता जी, हमारे अग्र सचिव अनिल मुकिम जी, कमिश्नर गुप्ता जी, हमारे गुजरात सरकार के व्हीप श्री आत्माराम भाई, पधारे हुए सभी अधिकारीगण, सभी विशेषज्ञ और गुजरात सरकार के साथ हेल्थ सेक्टर में कदम से कदम मिलाकर जो लोग गुजरात में हेल्थ सुविधा बढ़ाते हैं, गुजरात में फार्मास्यूटिकल ड्रग का जो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा उत्पादन करके गुजरात को ड्रग मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री में, फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री में जिसने गौरवप्रद नाम प्रदान किया है, ऐसे सभी हमारे उत्पादक भाइयों, पधारे हुए सभी मेहमान। आज हम सब जानते हैं कि विश्व के सामने जो मुख्य समस्याएं है, उसमें गरीबी एक मुख्य समस्या है, दूसरी समस्या पीने के पानी की है और भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल समस्याएं है। लेकिन हेल्थ रिलेटेड जो समस्या है, वो समस्याएं क्या क्या है और उसको हम कैसे निपटा कर लोगों को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आरोग्यप्रद हवा और पानी और वातावरण प्राप्त करवा सकते हैं, इसके लिए हम सब काम कर रहे हैं। कल का पूरा दिन जो अपने सेमिनार में आप सब ने जिन्होंने सुना होगा कि एक ही बात पूरे दुनिया के नेता हो, चाहे वो सेक्रेटरी जॉन केरी हो, अपने यूनाइटेड नेशन के बान की मून हो, या वर्ल्ड बैंक के प्रेसिडेंट हो, या कई देशों से आए हुए डिग्निटरीज हो, सबके पास एक ही बात थी कि दुनिया को कैसे हम स्वस्थ, सुखी, शांत और साधन संपन्न बनाए, कैसे दुनिया में शांति से सब लोग रहकर अपने परिवार के साथ आनंद से अपनी ज़िंदगी बसर कर सके, इसके लिए क्या क्या करना है सबको मिलके, इसका ग्लोबल प्लेटफॉर्म हमारे गुजरात के मुख्यमंत्री माननीय आनंदीबेन ने इस वाइब्रेंट समिट के दरमियान दिया है, और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री माननीय आदरणीय नरेंद्र भाई मोदी ने भी इस बात को आगे बढ़ाकर पूरे देश में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अच्छा से अच्छा स्वास्थ्य वातावरण कैसे बने, कैसे हम बीमारों की अच्छे से अच्छे प्रकार की सारवार ट्रीटमेंट कर सके, लेटेस्ट से लेटेस्ट ट्रीटमेंट के साधन इक्विपमेंट कैसे हम बसाएं और उसका उपयोग करें, और गरीब से गरीब आदमी, छोटे से छोटा आदमी, छोटे से छोटे गांव में रहने वाला आदमी भी अच्छी तरह से स्वास्थ्यप्रद अपना जीवन बिताए। और ख़ास करके अपने देश में कुपोषण का जो प्रॉब्लम है, जो पूरे देश में सभी राज्यों के सामने है, तो सबको पोषक आहार कैसे देके उनका लाइफ बेटर कैसे बनाए, इस सब बारे में चर्चा के लिए आज ये सेमिनार हमने रखा है। और मुझे आनंद है कि हमारे भारत के माननीय हेल्थ मिनिस्टर श्री जेपी नड्डा जी भी आज हमारे इस सेमिनार में उपस्थित हुए हैं और हमको मार्गदर्शन देने वाले हैं। और सभी जो विशेषज्ञ हैं, हम गवर्नमेंट में हैं, हम गवर्नमेंट चलाते हैं, पॉलिसी बनाते हैं, बजट एलोकेशन करते हैं, लेकिन किस काम को किस तरह से ज़्यादा आगे बढ़ाए, कैसे उनको प्रायोरिटी दे, ताकि हमारा जो एम है वो हम सर्व कर सके। इसलिए जो विशेषज्ञ है उनकी बात सुनकर, उनके सजेशन सुनकर, हो सके इतना एडप्ट करके सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का बजट हो या स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का बजट हो या हमारी कोई पॉलिसी हो, हम कोई कार्यक्रम बनाते हैं तो उसको इसमें कैसे लागू कर सके, इस बात को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए ये पूरे दिन का जो हमारा सेमिनार है उसमें आपके जो भी सजेशन होंगे वो हम गंभीरता से लेंगे और जितना हो सके इतना अमल इसके पर करेंगे। और हम सबका जो एक ही ध्येय है कि हमारे भारतवर्ष के 125 करोड़ नागरिक और हमारे गुजरात के 6 करोड़ नागरिकों को हम अच्छे से अच्छा स्वास्थ्य और बेटर लाइफ कैसे दे सके, इस प्रकार से हम क्या कर सके इसके लिए वो आप ज़रूर सजेस्ट करना। आपके वैल्यूएबल सजेशन हमारे लिए हमारी पॉलिसी बनाने में या फंड एलोकेशन में, बजट प्रोविज़न करने में हमको बहुत मददरूप होंगे। तो मैं मानता हूं कि आज का ये सेमिनार हमारा आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए, आने वाले जनरेशन के लिए और अभी का जो हमारा पॉपुलेशन है उन सब के लिए बहुत उपयोगी, बहुत लाभकारक और बहुत स्वास्थ्यप्रद होगा। ऐसी अपेक्षा के साथ आप सबका धन्यवाद करते हुए मेरी बात खत्म करता हूं। और जो भी विशेषज्ञ आए हैं, अपने मिनिस्टर श्री जेपी गुप्ता जी, नड्डा जी आए हैं, उनका स्वागत करते हुए मेरी बात खत्म करता हूं। थैंक यू।
आज के इस अवसर पर स्वागत उद्बोधन देने के लिए धन्यवाद श्रीमान श्री नितिन भाई पटेल। To welcome our dignitaries with fruit basket and memento. First of all, to welcome Honorable Union Minister of Health, Government of India, Shri J.P. Nadda. I request Shri Nitin Bhai Patel, Honorable Cabinet Minister of Health, Government of Gujarat, to give fruit basket and memento. Thank you. To give welcome Shri Nitin Bhai Patel, Honorable Minister, Health and Family Welfare, I request Shri Anil Mukim Sir, ISPS Secretary, Health and Family Welfare Department, Government of Gujarat. To give basket and memento to Atmaram Parmar, MLA, I request Shri J.P. Gupta Sir, IS Commissioner, Health, Government of Gujarat. To welcome Shri Love Verma, IAS Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of Gujarat, I request Shri Anil Mukim sir. To welcome Dr. Nata Mainapde, WHO representative of India, I request Dr. P.V. Dave, Additional Director, Public Health. Thank you. To welcome Shri Anil Mukim, IAS Principal Secretary, Public Health, Health and Family Welfare, I request Dr. Gaurav Dahiya, IAS Deputy Secretary, Medical Education. Thank you. To welcome Shri G.P. Gupta, IAS Secretary, Public Health and Commissioner, Health, Government of Gujarat, I request Sunil Avasya, Additional Director, Medical Services. Now to welcome Honorable Deepika Damerila, Associate Minister of Health and Long-Term Care. I request Shri Bhavesh Modi. Dr. Bhavesh Modi is requested to welcome Honorable Deepika Damerila. Thank you. And now to welcome Dr. G.N. Singh, Drug Controller General, India, CDSCO, Government of India. I request Shri H.G. Kosia, Commissioner Food and Drugs Control Admin, Gujarat State. Thank you. And now welcome Mr. Luis Georges Arsenault, Country Head, UNICEF. I request Dr. N.B. Dholakia, Additional Director, Family Welfare. Thank you. And to welcome Dr. Sharad Sapra, Director and Principal Advisor, Global Innovation Center, UNICEF. I request Dr. P.D. Viklani, Additional Director, Medical Education. Thank you. To welcome Professor Alain Labrick, Director, Health Initiatives, Johns Hopkins University, Baltimore, USA. I request Dr. R.K. Patel to welcome Professor Alain Labrick. Alain Labrick. Alain Labrick. Thank you. Now to welcome Professor Pranab Kumar Datta, Head, Medical Science and Technology, IIT Kharagpur. I request Dr. R.M. Mehta, Deputy Director, Nursing. Thank you. And to welcome Ms. Sangeeta Reddy, Joint Managing Director, Apollo Hospitals Enterprises Limited. I request Dr. B.S. Jesalpura, Joint Director, NVVDCP.
ને એટલે તરત આંગણવાડી વાળાને ઊભી જશે એટલે શેના માટે છે એમ કહીને એમને રિક્વેસ્ટ કરીશું બેઝિકલી.
Thank you. And to welcome Mr. Pankaj R. Patel, Chairman and Managing Director, Zydus Cadila, Ahmedabad. I request Dr. Bhavesh Modi, Nodal Officer, Vibrant Gujarat 2015. Thank you. And to welcome Mr. Girish Krishnamurthy, Vice President and Head Healthcare Products, TCS, Dr. Dinkar Rawal, requested to welcome Mr. Girish Krishnamurthy. Thank you. To welcome Dr. Mehul Mehta, MDVP, Partners Healthcare International Clinical Instructor, Hardware Medical School, USA. I request Dr. Rakesh R. Vaidya, Assistant Director, Family Welfare. Dr. Kavita Mehrotra. Kavita Mehrotra. Thank you. And now to welcome Dr. Kavita Mehrotra, Head Global Strategic Alliances, UL Engineering, USA. I request Mr. R.L. Vaishya, Joint Commissioner, Food and Drug Control, Admin, Gujarat State. Mr. R.L. Vaishya. Thank you. And to welcome Dr. Dilip Mavlankar, Director, Indian Institute of Public Health, Gandhinagar. I request Dr. Nayan Jani, State Immunization Officer. Dr. Ganguly, instead of Dr. Nayan Jani, please come on.
Good morning, friends. The fruit baskets you see with which our guests have been welcomed has been an initiative of our Honorable Chief Minister not to waste flowers, which are both object of beauty. And instead of these fruits will be distributed to the children of the Anganwadis under the ICDS, that is the Integrated Child Development Services Program. And instead of wasting money on flowers, these fruits will be distributed to the children. And therefore, I would request the representatives of the ICDS program, the Anganwadi workers, who will collect these fruits just after this program is over.
માનનીય મુખ્યમંત્રી શ્રીમતી આનંદીબેન પટેલની ખૂબ ઊંડી લાગણીઓ છે આંગણવાડીના બાળકો સાથે. ફ્લાવર્સ તો ઉપયોગમાં નથી આવી શકતા પાછળથી, પણ ફળો જે મહાનુભાવોને આપવામાં આવે છે એ આંગણવાડીના બાળકોને એનું વિતરણ કરવામાં આવે છે જેથી તેનો સદુપયોગ થઈ શકે. થેન્ક યુ. એન્ડ નાઉ ગણેશ વંદના. વક્રતુંડ મહાકાય सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. Thank you.
With this invocation to God, we begin the presentations in the inaugural sessions. I would now request Dr. Nata Menabde, World Health Organization representative of India, to give her address on the occasion. Dr. Nata Menabde, please.
Honorable Mr. Nada, Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, Shri Nitibai Patel, Honorable Cabinet Minister of Health, Government of Gujarat, Shrilo Verma, Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Shri Rambai Parmar of the Legislative Assembly of Gujarat, distinguished participants of this very important summit and this critically important session within the context of the summit. It is a great pleasure and an honor for me to speak before you in this gathering, especially because there cannot be economic development and there cannot be successful country if its people's health is not the best that it can be. Because it's only healthy nation that will do all these miracles, which we have been hearing since yesterday in the context of this summit. But we need to not to forget that innovations, all the technological advancements are still there to serve people. And people can only benefit from them if they have good health and they can enjoy life in this vibrant environment, changing India, changing world, only when their health is well addressed. The title of today's seminar is Health for All, and it is in the context of leveraging technology, innovations, and enablers. Those of you who are familiar with the World Health Organization and its history may recall that WHO had this big ambition to achieve health for all by year 2000. And that objective has been shifting to a little later and ultimately has been dropped. So in a way, we did not succeed with this ambition. But we are not afraid of recognizing and acknowledging that, because it appeared far more complex than originally thought, far more complex than the Almaty Declaration on the Primary Health Care in 1978 has brought into the picture, because it has been then well understood that health for all is not only about treating sick people, but it's about building healthy nation. And that requires engagement and involvement of all the sectors, because health is a very complex thing. And there are many determining factors which decide whether a person is going to be happy or not. Health, being healthy is one of that. But you also need to be happy. You also need to have access to all the other benefits of society. You also have to enjoy what your country, what your city, what your family, what your society, what your community can offer. And then we realized that health is not in the reach of health sector alone. Yet, there are many things that health sector can do. And in particular, and besides of providing good quality health services, health sector can steer and feed with necessary evidence and influence other sectors in doing right things for health. It is, in fact, sometimes outside of health sector that health innovations are also happening. And they are critical for development of better and healthier nation in India, but also elsewhere. Let me mention to you that WHO Constitution already in 1948 recognized health as a being human right issue. But we all know that it's more than 1 billion of people each year suffer because they cannot access or afford the necessary health services. More, even 150 million people experience catastrophic financial hardship, and another 100 million fall into poverty just because they need to pay for their health. Those figures are known. They are also known for India, and we have been speaking a lot about how to resolve those issues. Within WHO, we have introduced a concept of universal health coverage, and our Director General, Dr. Margaret Chan, has very powerfully said that universal health coverage is the most powerful concept that public health has to offer. She has further said that it is an inclusive concept and it unifies services and delivers them in a comprehensive and integrated way based on primary health care. So there are a lot of important messages. Ultimately, in WHO's report of 2010, where we tried to define universal health coverage, we have said, in fact, it is about everyone in a given society, irrespective of race, economic conditions, social affiliation, race, should be able to benefit from required services when they need them, and has a right to be protected from disease, from death, and to enjoy a happy life. And that can only be achieved by giving people adequate access to the services of a sufficient quality and those that they need, and access everywhere, but also to make sure that while they are using these services, they do not experience financial hardship. That is what we call catastrophic health expenditure. So it's rather simple and rather straightforward concept. But yet, in India, we have seen a lot of progress in this dimension, and even more is still to achieve. What we certainly know that universal health coverage is meant to alleviate human suffering, and especially to alleviate and remove inequalities between people. And because we are talking about services, for services to be really delivering health outcomes, they need to be comprehensive. There should be a range of services. We cannot stick like we do today at large in India with the clinical services. We definitely need more population-based services, those that are of preventive nature, because without these preventive services, we won't be able to harvest all the benefits of technologies that we are having even today, let alone that future technologies. Also, it is important that those services are of sufficient quality. So it's not about having primary healthcare setting if we do not have in it access to qualified health personnel for whatever range of services they need to deliver, but also right conditions, right diagnostic equipment, right access to essential technologies, treatment technologies, medicines, and the other things. But it is also important that we deliver those services in an efficient manner. And those dimensions are sometimes overlooked. It is known that some services, because of political but also economic feasibility issues, can be better delivered at the primary health care with less technological level of investment, but where the user is closer to those services. Many things can be resolved at that level. And that's why attention, especially in India, where majority of services provided across the country are heavily hospitalized and are provided in a hospital context, we need to think how we can strengthen that very component of primary healthcare services. And we also need to think how do we make those services of a necessary quality. But we also need to think about financing of those services in such a way that the very commonly known concept of cross-subsidization of rich by poor, and yesterday we have been hearing Prime Minister Modi very explicitly talking about future agenda for development, and he was bringing those equity and solidarity issues on every aspect he has covered in his speech, and this is very important indeed. And there are only one or very simple ways of doing that. One has to pool resources in a common pool, because with pooling resources and ensuring prepayment for services through those mechanisms, you can actually ensure that healthy subsidize the sick and the rich subsidize the poor, and you pull together risks along with resources. This is not happening in India today. We have several schemes. We are seeing growth of these schemes and consolidation of those schemes, and the future will be to bringing more of them together. It is also important because in the context of so many schemes, so many target groups, so many very good initiatives government of India has introduced at the state level, at the union level, where a lot of resources are being pulled in this. It is very difficult for consumers to understand the difficulty of navigating in those various schemes and entitlements. It has to be simplified and streamlined. They all have to be pulled as much as possible together, of course, within the meaningful integration, not just pulling them together, but seeing how they relate, how they can best link, and how they can be put together at service of the communities. And if this is happening, then various sources, tax revenues, but also private financing sources and co-payments by the citizens themselves could be a very good way of moving forward. It is also important because once you have this pool, you can actually think of financial and other type of incentives that you can put into play. And that can bring private sector very effectively into play, because private sector is very critical also in contributing to universal health coverage agenda. Private sector must also think of protecting equity and think of efficiency. And those things are not necessarily always, again, in the play. So without full engagement of all the actors, government, civil society, community, private sector, researchers, academia, health fraternity, we are not going to be having a real opportunity to address universal health coverage agenda. What I'm coming to is that universal health coverage is, in fact, social responsibility. It's a socially funded initiative. It also involves socially responsible governance. And without those things, one cannot achieve universal health coverage, even if we try very, very hard. I'm very impressed by the very intense discussions which engage not only union government, state government, but Prime Minister's office itself, where the health assurance mission is being so intensely debated. It is because, in fact, universal health assurance is trying to resolve exactly those issues that I have mentioned. It tries to bring closer to people medicines that they need, technologies, diagnostic technologies that they need, but also clinical services which they need, and to ensure that people are financially protected, especially those who are, instead of developing and becoming richer, falling into poverty. We very much hope that this mission, when it's launched, will bring some additional resources also to health sector, but we also want to see the transformation of health system. And I am explicitly not using the word reform because it is not always that we need to reform everything. I think evolutionary way, transforming the existing system into better serving the need of the community is a more important opportunity that India is facing. There are many, many good examples in a number of states. There are very good federal initiatives also. They can all get closer together and still deliver distinct health outcome, which, by the way, needs to be monitored, evaluated, supported by information technology, and constantly being used as a feedback to the policymakers and decision makers, because without that, corrective measures are not going to be possible. And that transformation should move towards more patient-centered system. And those changes from provider concept to the patient-centered movement is a very difficult one. It's not easy, but it is going to be making a huge difference everywhere. In the last part of my opening remarks, I would like to mention some of the important issues related to the innovations that are required in health sector. They are required everywhere. We have seen tremendous progress in India on the medicine side, but we also have seen a lot of progress on the diagnostic side. Now, what is really important, in India, we need to compensate for the deficiency of the system at all levels by innovations and technological solutions. We need to compensate for a lack of qualified health worker at the primary health care and offer such simple tools which even not so well qualified person can put in place. So technologies in India is not only about producing better quality of life for elderly patients or bringing more diagnostics or devices for the newborn children, and we will hear a lot in these discussions today about those examples. But it's about compensating for the deficiency of the system, because India cannot afford to wait until there will be enough doctors, enough nurses, enough everything. But India has an opportunity to step in with low-cost solutions for those settings where healthcare is mostly inaccessible and unaffordable for the people, especially rural India. And I think that is where the priority focus should be. WHO is working very intensely with the government on various fronts to ensure that those innovations are actually taking higher speed and that they are targeting and not just driven by ad hoc initiatives alone. We have done many such studies where we have identified what is investment in research, for example, from the government now and what it should be in the future. And we have seen that actually research often goes driven by the minds of scientists, but it may not be the research which the health minister may need to improve health of country's people. So we need to do some major shift here. And I also want to mention here importance of intellectual property rights, because to trigger and support innovation sometimes goes against the access issues, because innovation requires resources. Now, we at WHO are trying to bring more resources to research which is relevant for developing world and diseases in developing world. And these are global mechanisms in which India is playing a very pivotal role now. And we are piloting some of the projects for these innovative financing schemes. But I believe that we need to very well understand that in order to come with new innovative products, it will be necessary to also look into intellectual property rights. WHO has long way already dealt with various action plans on intellectual property and public health related issues. And I think we need to support our researchers and innovators and protect in some way their intellectual property rights so that they are more stimulated and more encouraged to come up with new solutions for a very challenging health system issues which this government is facing. I'm very pleased to welcome you once again for this seminar, and I look forward for your deliberation. And as one of the youngest Nobel Prize laureates said, we have taken enough steps. It's time now to take a leap. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Menabde. She has rightly pointed out the inequities in health and how we need to evolve and develop our own model and use leveraging technology to find out solutions to our health problems.